Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, this has been a crazy spoiler season. I don't know about you, but I've really been enjoying it. A lot of really cool cards. This might be my favorite kind of set and spoiler season that we've had for quite some time, and with it, potentially, one of my favorite cards. My goodness, this is just dripping with, well, flavor, potential, and, well, just craziness. I mean, this is so off the wall. It looks like it came from Custom Magic on Reddit. So we shall see what in the world is going on with Dance with Calamity. I love that name. I love the art. It is fantastic. And the flavor text is so on point with it too. It was just another day on Innistrad. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. This is just what Innistrad's used to, right? Calamity. Things going wrong. Okay, now with all those cool things, what exactly does this card do? Well, it's a sorcery for 8 mana in total. 7 and a red. Gross. So that's a big mana cost, but again, we are in Commander. We've got time to get there. Of course, we've got ways to ramp. We got ways to do this. And what it does is absolutely worth it and incredible. Here we go. Shuffle your library. As many times as you choose, you may exile the top card of your library. If the total mana value of the cards exiled this way is 13 or less, you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. Okay, so crazy, out there, weird, strange. What in the world is going on? Now, this has been pointed out, I think, by some people on Reddit, but it's pretty funny, actually. This is literally playing blackjack, kind of, in Magic, because, hey, this is an 8 mana spell. It's giving you 13 potential extra mana value, right? But if you go over that, you bust, and you don't get any of them, essentially, right? But if you go under or exactly 13, which is the best amount to get, apparently, right? Because you just get 13 free value off the top of your library, you get it. You get to cast the spell. So you're kind of like playing blackjack. It's kind of crazy. It's pretty flavorful, pretty fantastic, and there's a ton of potential with this. Again, the way that this is worded is so well done. First up, shuffle your library. So this is going to be random. What you're going to hit is going to be random. You can't set the top of your library and be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, you're going to get Blightsteel Colossus off the top because I set it there. No, this is random. So again, as many times as you choose, so one at a time, you're going to hit cards off the top of your library. Hit me, hit me, hit me. You're going to keep hitting cards off the top of your library, and you're going to think about the total mana value of those cards and maybe what else you have potentially in your library that you might hit. Because you're like, okay, all right, I flip, okay, land, whatever, okay, oh, 2 mana spell, cool, yeah, okay, 3, okay, I'm at 5 mana total now, okay, do I have any 8 mana spells or more in this? No, okay, 6 is like my top, I think, okay, oh, there's a 6, okay, so now I'm at 11. Chances are pretty likely there that you might hit something that would put you over that, so you probably stop at that point and then be like, okay, I get 3 spells for free off the top of my library. Let's cast those. A lot of value there. You can get risky, of course, and be like, nah, my curve in this deck's pretty low. But again, let's say then again, you're at 11, you hit a 3 mana spell, you get to 14, you went over, you busted, you do not get any of those spells. So again, there's a lot of risk to this card. Now, that being said, of course, the way that I've thought about it was, well, let's just build a deck with absolutely no risk with it. Let's build a deck that, well, you are guaranteed not to go over 13 when you cast this spell, and the entire deck is built around this. So, of course, you can utilize this in a big mana deck, and maybe a Joda, giant mana deck, essentially, where you're just casting this for 5 mana, and you just have big things you're hitting off the top, and you're like, oh, okay, I hit a 6 mana spell. Yeah, chances are pretty likely I'll hit a 7 or less, so let's just keep going, hit something else pretty big. You could go in a deck that's got a lot of value low to the ground, too, where you just get a lot of things off the top. Anyways, what this is going to be for me, again, though, is kind of an experiment, a Mad Lad type strategy. And let's talk about some different potential commanders you might want to consider for this one. I'm going to have a link to all these things in the description below, so make sure you check out those cards. But yeah, let's talk about some commander potential. And we're going to start things off with, well, the first sliver. So the first sliver is a pretty strange card. And it is one, of course, that you can go sliver tribal. The way that I would build this, though, around Dance of Calamity, would definitely not be Sliver Tribal. In fact, you'd have 0 slivers in the deck. So first up, the first sliver is a 7/7 sliver with Cascade that costs 5 mana. Wooburg. Sliver spells you cast off Cascade. So again, yeah, great for Sliver Tribal. We don't care about that. What we care about is this is a 5-color commander that has Cascade. So essentially, we are guaranteed to hit something off the top, and what we're going to be hitting is going to be something that is less than 5 mana, because obviously we need to ensure that we do that, right? So essentially, what we're going to be doing is we cast this, and we're going to go down, and we're going to hit, well, I thought of 2 cards, but one of 2 cards. First up, Demonic Tutor. So Demonic Tutor, of course, is a fantastic tutor, a very expensive tutor, as you can see, $40. Yeah, okay, this idea is not budget. My other one's a little more budget from this one. Again, this Mad Lad idea, not exactly budget friendly with this this card included. Okay, search library for a card, put in your hand, then shuffle. So this costs 2 mana. Great. It's a fantastic amount of mana for a tutor. In fact, really, really overly efficient, really good. And so, of course, what we're going to be doing is we cast the first sliver. This is going to be the only thing that we can potentially hit, because this card costs less than 5 mana, and our other spells, including Dance with Calamity, do not. They do not cost 4 or less. So this is the only thing we can hit. So we hit this, and then we tutor for, you guessed it, Dance with Calamity. So essentially, we are going to basically be casting that. We're going to be getting that from our deck, and yeah, what we're going to be doing, I just had to double check the first sliver to make sure that we can actually do it with Cascade. I'm pretty sure that works. Comment below, rules lawyers out there. I'm pretty sure that still works with Cascade, right? If not, I've got another commander that can work with this. So bear with me, though. Here we go. I believe it works with Cascade. You get the cards back on the bottom of your library before you actually end up casting Demonic Tutor, I believe. Regardless, another one. I'm slightly thrown off now. Regardless, another one that you might consider, though, with this is Profane Tutor. Much more budget-friendly. Okay, here we go. And this one's probably better for the flavor of the deck, again, of low mana value. Suspend 2 for 1 in a black. Search life for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. So actually, if you cascade into this, though, you don't have to suspend to get this, essentially. You're just getting a free Demonic Tutor. Same thing, essentially, as Demonic Tutor, because you can cascade into it with the first sliver. And again, it has 0 mana value. So your commander, your commander hits it. And also, Dance with Calamity, if you happen to not, like, let's say you drew Dance with Calamity and you just cast it, it's not affecting the mana value. Though, again, the 2 mana from the other one doesn't really affect it either, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Here we go. So what you're going to be doing, though, with Dance with Calamity is you're going to just be exiling every single card off the top of your library, essentially. Now, you don't have to do every single card. You just have to do it until you hit your 2 combo pieces. First up, Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker. So, Kiki Jiki is a 2/2 with Haste Goblin Shaman that costs 2 red, but again, with Dance with Calamity, you're going to be casting it for free. Tap a token, that's a copy of target knowledge or creature control on the battlefield. That token has haste, sacrifice, begin the next end step. So this is a very, very, very powerful combo card, and again, that is 5 mana value. So again, with Dance with Calamity, again, we can get up to 13. We have 5 done, so we have 8 left. What can we use that is within that 8 that will combo with this? Well, Zealous Conscripts. We've got mana value left. We've got mana value to spare. Zealous Conscripts is a 3/3 hasty human warrior for 4 in a red. But again, free of Dance with Calamity. If this is, one of the cards that we get off the top of our library, which we will, because again, we're only having these in our library. When it enters the battlefield, gain control target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent, gains haste until end of turn. So, yep. Hey, what's going to happen is Kiki is going to say, hey, Zealous Conscripts, I like you. Tap. Extra token copy of you, essentially. You enter the battlefield, then you untap Kiki. You do this again and again and again and again and again. You've got an infinite amount of 3/3s with haste, and you can take your opponents out. Okay, rules lawyers out there. Technically not infinite. Yes, choose a number, 1 trillion. You have 1 trillion 3/3s with haste. Swing out, you win. And also within that mana value as well, again, you have 3 left, essentially, again, if you include, Profane Tutor as well, is probably what I would recommend instead of Demonic Tutor, actually. So you have 3 mana value left, essentially, right? So you could use something like a Summer's Veil. You could use, ways to potentially prevent them from being countered, etc., etc. I guess, what's that? Pact of Negation as well. So you could have some other, cards that don't... Actually, wait, no. That's why I didn't include those. No, Regard. Forget this. Forget I just said that, because then Sliver would hit them. Don't include those. That's why I didn't include them. Goodness gracious, thinking ahead before... I'm thrown off. Dance with Calamity is a very crazy card. Regardless, this, of course, is not the only commander that you can consider. And actually, the spicier one that I really would actually build around and can be a little more budget-friendly would be Lagomos, Hand of Hatred. Okay, hear me out. A 1/3 human shaman for 1 black-red. Yeah, you don't need 5 color for this. You just need 2 colors. At the beginning of combat of your turn, create a 2/1 elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice, begin the next end step. Tap, search life for a card, put in your hand, then shuffle, activate only if 5 or more creatures died this turn. So, This is a commander that can tutor you a card. Again, it can tutor you Dance with Calamity. It does have a requirement, though, that 5 creatures die this turn. That being said, there are definitely ways where you can have that happen on your own, and ways where just incidentally your opponents had that happen. It says, it doesn't say, activate only at sorcery speed, right? It says activate only 5 more creatures die this turn. So if it's on one of your opponent's turns and someone casts a board wipe or whatnot, that I guess Logos would have to survive that. Let's just say 2 people are having combat, right? And 5 creatures die. Cool. There you go. Activate it then. But again, there are ways to get creatures out, even not affecting, your mana value overall, okay? Let's just say that. Because again, what you're going to be doing, again, you're going to have the basic shell of the deck still. You're still going to have, your combo cards, your Zealous Conscripts, Kiki Jiki, or whatnot, okay? You don't have to, require yourself to have, 5 mana value or higher, though, because, the first sliver is the reason for those 2, so you wouldn't hit them. With this, though, you can have other kind of combo pieces that can combo at lower amounts if you really want to, okay? I'm not sure exactly what those would be at this point, because I didn't include them in the episode, and I didn't think that far ahead, and I definitely should have. Regardless, just know that you can basically have any kind of combination of cards that cost in total 13 or less to utilize with this commander for your combo to win. Now, here's how you're going to also fill your deck in a way that is different than the first sliver, and that I actually like that you can do. Because with this, you can also utilize, again, because you're not required with a cascade to not have anything in your deck that costs less than 5, you can utilize an absurd amount of 0 mana cards, like, well, Hangerback Walker. Hangerback Walker is a really good card for this commander because, well, first up, it's a 0/0 construct for XX. It is free. It has no mana value. So again, with Dance with Calamity, it considers this as a 0. So if you are hitting, and I just hit my light right here, if you are considering, again, the getting cards off the top of your library again and again and again and again, and you only want to get to 13 in total, you want to have a glutton of cards in your deck that cost nothing. So they don't add to that. Again, your combo cards are going to be the ones that really matter for that. So again, Hangerback Walker enters the battlefield, X counters on it. When it dies, you get a 1/1 Thopter for each, counter on it. Pay 1 tap, get a counter on it. So this actually can be a, creature generating engine for you, essentially. You can get it down early, you get more and more creatures on it, or more and more counters on it to essentially then, maybe once it dies, get some creatures out, maybe send those into combat, have them die, and then, yeah, you can have your commander activate to tutor. Or if you already say at 4 creatures having died in the turn, you can actually just play this for 0, and then it dies, and it counts toward that amount. Again, your commander is already going to give you a, 2/1 that is going to die, so that's already 1. This would be 2. If you can get 3 more creatures dying, you can meet that requirement. Next up, Ornithopter. A simple Ornithopter can be great in this deck, too. 0/2 flyer for 0. Again, does not add to your mana value, which is fantastic. That is perfect. But also, again, it's just a blocker for you. It's a creature that's going to be in play. It's a creature that just might die just by, someone casting a Pyroclasm or something or whatever. Pyroclasm, that deals too. Regardless, you can just add creatures into this deck that cost 0 that you can just throw into play, and hopefully they die, and then you can activate your commander. Next up, Rograk. Gosh, that is just so, I don't know why I had trouble with that. I'm slightly thrown off, as you can tell. This has been a long spoiler season regardless. Rog. That's the nickname I say. Anyways, even this can just be fantastic. Again, costing 0, 0/1, first strike, triple menace. It doesn't matter if you're not going to pump it or you're just going to be a 0/1 in play. It doesn't matter. I'm very sorry, Rog, that I mispronounced your name, first of all. And secondly, that we're not really going to make you into a heavy hitter. You're just going to be in this deck, again, creature fodder, essentially. Next up, we also can get access to mana rocks as well that might cost 0. Now, there's not that many out there to help us ramp to essentially get to Dance with Calamity's, 8 mana. We also have other cards that can help too. We'll talk about here in a bit with our lands. But yeah, Soul Talisman doesn't have a mana value. Perfect. Basically, then it's 0 in consideration for Dance with Calamity. Spend 3 for 1, taps for 2. It's basically a delayed Soul Ring in a way. And again, it's perfect for this kind of a deck because, again, it's not adding to our mana value. Of course, again, if your combo is, say, again, 10 converted mana costs in total, again, Kiki Jiki, Zealous Conscripts, you can include, 3 other, 1 mana spells in your deck too if you want or whatnot. So you could include a Soul Ring too. So yeah, there's certain ways you can kind of play with that mana value as it is. Next up, Mana Crypt. Yeah, if you got the budget for it, $187 worth, and I think this is the least expensive version. There you go. Yeah, that can be great for this kind of a deck too. I don't have the budget for that, but yeah, it's great. Hey, it's basically a free Soul Ring. Sure, it also maybe deals you 3 damage at your upkeep. Maybe it doesn't, the coin flip. But yeah, definitely a very good card commander for a reason. Speaking of that, Moxamber. Not quite as expensive as Mana Crypt, but still very expensive. $25. Tap, add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. Again, mana value of 0. That is key. That is crucial. There's a lot of 0 mana things you can consider. And again, if you're really trying to hyper efficiently make this deck, yeah, you might be considering some of these cards. Not a mana rock technically, but a Lotus Spell, basically a free treasure. 0 mana, tap, sacrifice it. Probably the original treasure. Add 1 mana of any color mana pool. Yeah, basically again, if you're just trying to cast Dance with Calamity, once you got it tutored in your hand, perfect. You just waste all your mana. It does not matter. All you need to do is cast that, resolve it, get your combo, and win from there. So again, getting rid of Lotus Spell does not matter all that much. Next up, I did mention that we have some lands that can help us ramp as well. Mirror Landscape. Hey, enter the battlefield, tap, taps for Tapriculus, pay 2 taps, sacrifice it, go get 2 lands that share your land type, into play, tap. So yeah, basically, hey, yeah, go ramp, go get 2 mountains. It's going to basically put you up 1 land with this. So yeah, again, even in your lands, you can have ways to get ahead on mana. And like I mentioned before, hey, lands that might, or, resources that might just be depleted, essentially, like, what did I just say? Goodness gracious. the Lotus Spell that gets sacrificed. Sacrificing your lands for mana 2 can be impactful as well. Again, all you need to do is get your commander out and also cast Dance with Calamity. So Sandstone Needle can be a great one. Comes with 2 depletion counters on it. Tap basically for 2 red. Once you run depletion counters, you sacrifice it. So yeah, basically 2 bursts of 2 mana. Again, that can be perfect for this kind of a deck that's just looking to cast 1 singular spell essentially after you cast your commander. So it can be a fantastic way to get way ahead really quickly and get the Dance with Calamity out earlier than you think it would be. And of course, there's also other cards that are like this, like Dwarven Runes, I think is one. Enters the battlefield, tapped. You can tap and sacrifice it for 2 mana. Same thing with, there's also in black as well. And again, if you're playing a 5-color version, sure, yeah, you can use all of them. Crystal Vein. Speaking of ones that tap and sacrifice, Tapriculus, or tap, sacrifice it for 2 mana. Again, a burst of mana. Again, if you need to just cast Dance with Calamity and you got in your hand, burst of mana, this will get you there. Cast it, and then you don't need mana again because you're just going to combo off and win. And if you got the budget for it again, Ancient Tomb, yeah, $74 gross. Tap for 2, deals 2 damage to you. Again, with this kind of a deck that's just looking to go very, very quickly, 2 damage is nothing. You're just looking to essentially combo as quickly as you can and win from there. Next up, Dwarven Mine. Some lands that can help you out in a different way. Dwarven Mine enters the battlefield, tap unless you control 3 other mountains. Yeah, you might have 3 other mountains. When you do, hey, it enters the battlefield, untap, and you get a 1/1 red dwarf creature token. Again, adding to your creature count, again, for this commander, so you can, again, have more creature fodder in play to hopefully get them, taken out. So you essentially can, again, yeah, either, swing with them in combat an opponent, maybe they block, or, yeah, use them as blockers, essentially to get them taken out to then tutor for Dance with Calamity. And one final land I believe I'm going to bring up. Let's see the chart. Yeah, I believe 1 land left. Keep. Tapriculus, pay 1 in a red tap, create a 0/1 red kobold creature token named Kobold's Care Keep. Perfect. So yeah, again, a way to just generate creature tokens, to fill the board with tokens, and eventually, hopefully have 5 creatures die on a singular turn, so get your tutor. So yeah, I think if I was going to build around this incredible, fantastic, amazing card, I think I would go with Logamos Hatred Hand. The name doesn't matter. The one I just talked about. It's a fantastic, I think, concept. It's an interesting concept, I should say. It's one that, yes, would probably get old. It's one that some players might not appreciate as much, but I think it's kind of funny and off the wall and be like, yeah, I'm using this janky commander that no one uses, and I'm using this janky card to do this janky thing, essentially, right? Just kind of, okay, I wonder what I'm going to hit off the top of my library. I really hope I don't bust. And you can never bust because you lose. Can use the entire deck. I mean, basically the entire deck until you get your combo pieces. And then you win from there. So yeah, it can be a very interesting and off-the-wall card. I definitely never expected to see this in Commander, this in any kind of format in Magic. It's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. Just dripping with flavor, dripping with potential. And yeah, comment below on your thoughts on it. I hope that you enjoy it as well. Again, there's a link in the description below the cards I talked about on this episode in case you're interested. Also, if you haven't seen my episode on Begin the Invasion, make sure you check that one out because, oh my goodness, that is a crazy new card as well. One that's got a lot of potential, and it's got a new kind of deck that you can build around it, which I'm calling Battle Plan, and I think a lot of players are going to really enjoy that, so yeah, make sure you check that one out. Also, yeah, comment below with your thoughts. Stay tuned for more quick takes and spoilers, and of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.